Hello Internet, Trusty Phil Brown here again with another movie review for this week. This week I'm taking a look at Calvary, the latest film by writer-director John Michael McDonough. He's brothers with another writer-director, Martin McDonough, who made Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges. Together they're sort of like the Coen brothers with sibling rivalry. They make very similar, darkly comedic and violent films, yet for whatever reason, do not work together. John Michael McDonough's previous film, The Garb, was his first, and it was an excellent debut starring Brandon Gleeson. It's sort of the Irish equivalent of Bad Lieutenant, about a very poorly behaved, drug and booze-fueled cop who is rather lovable in his excesses. Calvary is a very different film in concept, but rather similar in execution. The easiest way to describe it is to just simply describe the first scene, which stars Brandon Gleeson again as a priest in a small Irish village who, one day while taking confession, has someone come in disguising their voice who lives in the small village, who says to Brandon Gleeson that he has been molested by a priest as a child. Just found out that that priest was killed. He'd always planned on killing him, but since he didn't, he's going to instead kill Brandon Gleeson. Brandon Gleeson is a good priest, but he feels it would be an even bolder statement to kill him as a way of getting revenge against the Catholic Church for their decades, if not centuries, of sexual abuse. So, that's a pretty twisted concept. Basically, Brandon Gleeson has a week to live, in which he sort of wanders around the village, tries to suss out who could possibly be responsible for the threat, and also decide whether or not he's going to show up at the appointed date and time to presumably meet his death. Sounds like a very sad and disturbing film in ways it is, but it actually plays like a comedy, and really quite clever and thoughtful one. The entire village is populated with really excellent Irish character actors, most notably the lovable Chris O'Dowd, and also Irish stand-up comedian Dylan Moran, who's probably used better here than he has been in any film before. Really, really funny stand-up performance. It's a very bizarre film that shifts tone constantly. It's the type of movie that in one scene could be very base level, gross, but very funny humor, and then the next scene go on to a kind of suspenseful, disturbing sequences as Brandon Gleeson tries to suss out who his possible killer is, and then we'll go to another scene where a character delivers a very long and passionate, thoughtful monologue about the nature of faith. Sounds uneven, but it's not really. Tonal shifts are sort of the style of John Michael McDonough, and he does a really wonderful job of taking all these very disparate elements and characters and actors and mixing them together into something that feels distinct of its own. It's very unpredictable, very thoughtful, very clever, very funny, and very entertaining, if that's your type of thing. It feels very much like a Coen Brothers style film, but at the same time it's very much a John Michael McDonough film, and within these two films he's really created a distinct style, and he seems like a very interesting filmmaker worth keeping a watch on. Brandon Gleeson was, I thought his previous best performance was in The Guard. This one's probably even better, even though the film probably isn't quite as consistent. He's just wonderful in it, a big, warm, funny bear of a man who also, within a moment, can seem to have the entire weight of the world hinge on his very expressive face. So it's an intense film, but a funny and thoughtful one. It's definitely not for everyone. You kind of have to be interested in dark comedy and theological philosophy. That's definitely not a broad-reaching concept, but if it's something that appeals to you in any way, I encourage you to really seek this out. It's a really excellent, strong film that could easily be overlooked, but doesn't deserve to be. McDonough and Gleeson have, within two films, defined themselves as an extraordinary filmmaking team who bring out the best of each other, so hopefully this will be but the first two films in a long, ongoing collaboration. They're an excellent team, and I highly encourage you to seek out the Calvary for a sort of alternative to the fluff that's playing this week, mostly involving Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anywho, that's Phil Brown signing off this week for RealTimers.com.